Do you have enough light in your life? Are you soaring in the joy around you? Are you stuck and unable to make life happen? Stay tuned for the Rabbi Jenny Show, where you will learn how to bask in the light and find more joy and meaning in life. Call to talk to Rabbi Jenny at 888-565-1470 and email questions and comments at rabbijenny.com. And now, if you're ready, stay tuned for the Rabbi who will light your world on fire, Rabbi Jenny.
Hey everyone, it's Rabbi Jenny. Happy Wednesday. It is a rainy Wednesday here in Florida, and it is going to be a freaky Wednesday. I can tell you that, folks, because the energy in this studio is high, and we have a very exciting topic, an amazing guest who I absolutely adore, and I'm just telling you, I don't know, I'm off the chain today. I would really tune in for the whole hour because not quite sure what's going to come out. Anyways, the two main ideas for the Rabbi Jenny Show. If you've never listened to the Rabbi Jenny Show, pay attention to these. And if you listen every week, I appreciate it, and I love you very, very, very much. But I want you to remember these two things, and I want you to take them in and make them a part of your paradigm, a part of your motto, a part of the way that you walk through life, because it can change you. It actually changed me many years ago. And the first main idea is this, that the world is happening for you and not to you. And that is 100% of the time. The world is happening for you and not to you. Despite what it looks like maybe on the outside, it's what's going on the inside. And why is it happening for you? This is why. Idea number 2. Because you are divine love light energy, and you are always expanding, and you have stuff to do on this planet, and it is trying to help you do it. So if where you are is uncomfortable, it's breaking you free so you can get out and do something else. Let me tell you that. So this is an exciting week on the Rabbi Jenny Show, because we are talking about one of the most important things I think you can learn if you have your eyes on leadership, if you want to expand your effect on this planet. You have got to learn this tool. It is one of the clearest messages in Scripture, in Torah, and it is this week, and that is this. Delegation, my friends. Delegation is the secret to illumination. Ooh, I'm going to get all preachy today. I can feel it. I can feel that the fire is in me, because I love how clear the message is this week. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to talk about, blah, 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 blah. But this image came in, and I want you to listen to me before I introduce the story that we're talking about in the Torah this week. I want you to you can't close your eyes if you're driving, so that would be really dangerous. But I want you to picture a candle. But this is a really special candle, because this candle is you. And deep inside of this candle is your soul, and your soul is like this wick. I want you to think about the wick inside the candle. And the top of the candle is lit, because that's you. But you've decided to light the bottom part of the wick also. Okay? And you know that saying, you burn the candle at both ends, it burns out. And I want you to picture that for me. I want you to picture that whole thing just burning down, because you are running the whole show by yourself. You are trying to light the world with one candle. And pretty soon there's going to be no candle. And now I want you to imagine, listeners, something else. I want you to imagine yourself, this lit candle, and I want you to look to your right and look to your left and look in front of you, and I want you to see hundreds and hundreds of candles. And I want you to light all of them. And I want you to picture the difference of those two images. One burning out, one candle, and hundreds of candles lit up. That is what we're talking about here. We are talking about delegation. We are talking about the ability to shine light upon others in order to expand light. And why we won't delegate and why we hold on to things. This is a fabulous topic, and it is actually inspired directly from the Torah portion this week, which is the story of Jethro. And I'm not talking about the hillbillies, Jethro. I am talking about a very important man who was Moses' father-in-law. He's an older man, and the beginning of our portion this week opens with Jethro, the father-in-law of Moses, coming to his son-in-law who's just rescued the Israelites, and amazed at the cloud that's never leaving them and shows them where to go and all of this stuff. And Moses pays his father-in-law respect, and they have this moment, because in Torah it's just a moment. It's like 2 sentences. It's not anything deep. And then what happens is his father-in-law's like, where's Moses, everybody? What's he doing? Where is he? I want to hang out with him. Let's go. We want to play a round of golf in the desert. Where is he? And you know what Moses is doing? Day and night. He is sitting there, and he is acting as judge of his people. Day and night. He doesn't move. He doesn't rest. He doesn't sleep. Day and night is what it says. He just sits and he acts as the judge. So not only is he the light, get the image of the candle, Moses is the light of his people, but he's got to light them up all day long and all night long. And his father-in-law, in his wisdom, remember, characters in the Torah are the wisdom in us. They're in us, all these characters. So the Jethro in you, the wisest part of you, takes a look at his son-in-law, Moshe, this flame, and says, listen, buddy, you can't do this to yourself anymore. You're not being effective. You need to assign some judges. You need to spread the responsibility amongst your people. And that's exactly what he does. And that's where the inspiration comes for our topic. And our topic is this: delegation. Don't do it all and end up doing it all. Okay? And I have some cool quotes. First, I want to talk about delegation and what it is. And in the dictionary, there's some interesting definitions, but the most important thing about delegation is trust. And we are not a trusting people. We're just not. Humans, we doubt. We really have become a very fear-based group of souls. And what we need to do is trust. And the definition of delegate is to entrust a task. Right? You hear that? Entrust. There's no coincidences. Entrust a task or responsibility to another person, typically who is less senior than oneself. Okay, maybe not. Okay, and then there is a send or authorize someone to represent you, like as a delegate. Okay. What's funny, in the Urban Dictionary, which has probably fueled some of why our resistance to delegating, and it says, when you're too lazy to do something yourself, you actually ask someone else to do it. So I thought that was funny. But let's talk about this idea of trusting and what delegation is. I have these quotes and all these ideas. John Maxwell, who's a fantastic speaker and leader, said, if you want to do a few small things right, do them yourself. If you want to do great things and make an impact, learn to delegate. And Aniki Tochukwu, who is an author, says, trusting helps you suffer less. But my favorite delegation quote is by Paul Sloan, and he says, only do what only you can do. Now, as a boss, as a leader, as somebody who prides himself, this is one of my favorite things to do, is to surround yourself with fantastic people who can do anything. And what that does is it gives you the freedom to do you. This is a huge point, because the reason why we don't delegate is fear. And it's usually a very specific kind of fear. And I've read a lot of articles this week on delegation. And some of these Moses might have suffered from himself because, hey, he just freed a whole people, like he might not want to let go. He might want to just keep everything under wraps and make sure that he's the one in charge. But that's usually the emotions that go with not giving up tasks and not giving up work. There's usually some ego. There's usually some control issues. There's usually some misrepresentations of time. Like, I don't have time to delegate that because I don't have time to teach you that. And if I waste my time teaching you that, then I've wasted a minute. I mean, the truth is that if you actually spend time teaching somebody how to do something that's really something excessive in your own schedule, it will actually free time later. But we've become a very impatient people. Or at least I can become that way. I can speak for myself. Well, I'll just do it myself. It'll be just easier. If I just do it myself, then it'll be just easier. So that's one mindset. So if you're out there and you're listening and you're having that at work or you're having that at home, if you have teenagers like I do, and emptying the dishwasher is something that could actually help give them a sense of responsibility and take a little load off your mind after you've worked all day, maybe you should delegate that to them. Okay, the next thing is this: losing control. I don't want to give up control. That is an important thing that we all feel, because if they do it and they do it bad, they might mess it up, and oh my God, something bad might happen, and I don't know, and I don't know, and I don't know, and I am sure that might have been something Moses might have felt, what if they don't judge right? I mean, they don't talk to God. I talk to God. How am I supposed to know if they're going to do it right? So losing control. Are you afraid to give up control? The truth is, though, is when you entrust people and you empower people, they actually respect you more. When you fuel someone's self-esteem, it like bounces back to you. like the light of the candle. It bounces back and you create this synergistic relationship because you've trusted them. You've shown them that you see who they truly are and who they're capable of, and they in turn support you and actually protect you, usually in the creation of what's coming. So losing control might be an issue for you. And how about this, egomaniacs? You're not going to get the credit. What's going to happen if they do it better than you and you don't get the credit and they do? So where does that come from? That comes from insecurity. That comes from not believing you have value. And let me tell you, listeners, every single human being on the planet has value. Remember the quote, only do what only you can do. If it's something that you can do and they can do, this isn't something you need to worry about. This is something you need to share because there's something original, there's something special, there's some spark that you need to get busy doing. So don't worry about them getting credit. And then if you're really worried, you can say, well, I assigned it to them. I've done it. Well, I hired them. I do it all the time. How about this? Losing something you love doing. This is huge for me. I have to say, in my own story, I just took a job more in leadership. So I'm not exactly working as much with clients. And I love working with my clients. I love drumming with them and singing with them and talking about God and doing all this stuff with them. And I do very little of it now. And it was really hard for me to let go. I was afraid I'm not going to enjoy myself. How can I find? But I'm telling you, you have to sometimes let go of things in order to let bigger things in. You have to, your heart is always finding a new capacity. Plus, if it's something that fantastic and joyful and you can actually teach someone how to do it, I need you guys to go here with me because I'm getting such an ecstatic feeling of joy that you could spread throughout an experience. If you love something, if something brings you so much joy inside of your heart, and it is actually something you can take the time to teach others how to do, which might bring joy to their heart, you've now doubled, you've now tripled, you've now quadrupled the joy in your surroundings, and you still get to experience it. You still get to be around it, In a lot of organizations, they pass the buck in certain key positions, and these are usually charities or board position. If you're on the board of a charity, I'm on the board of one myself. You can't be the secretary more than 2 years. You have to switch and become the treasurer, so you experience different aspects of what you do. And what it happens when you delegate and you move things around is everybody can get more compassion for each other, and so you create this compassionate organization where people are they're not able to judge you anymore because they've actually walked in your shoes. It's really easy to say, oh, you should be doing things this way. But then when they go do what you do and go, wait a minute, this is why she did it this way. Or this is, so this is about letting go. Let me see. There's so many more reasons why we wouldn't delegate. Help! So you got to ask, help! This is Rabbi Jenny. We'll be right back with a very special guest talking about the wisdom of delegation. Don't do it all and ... do it all. Talk to you in a few. Hi, it's Rabbi Jenny from The Rabbi Jenny Show. Are you planning a wedding, baby naming, or bar bat mitzvah? Have you recently adopted a pet, bought a new home, or opened a new business? Do you have an important anniversary coming up and would like to renew your vows? Have you recently lost a loved one and need some compassion and care through this process? These are some of the many life events that touch our lives. It is at these moments that we need a special person for guidance and compassion and care to officiate and guide us through those moments. Call me, Rabbi Jenny, at 561-346-8207 to guide you and officiate these life events. 561-346-8207. Rabbi Jenny, for personal compassion and care and loving guidance for the important events of your life.
Substance abuse disorder is a thief. Substance abuse disorder steals your self-esteem. Substance abuse disorder steals your power. Substance abuse disorder steals your joy. Substance abuse disorder steals your purpose. Substance abuse disorder steals your life. If you or someone you love is suffering from the effects of substance abuse disorder, Epiphany Resources has your solution. At Epiphany Resources, Rabbi Jenny and her acclaimed clinical team offer a unique and effective combination of creativity, spirituality, and cognitive therapy to treat and empower those suffering from substance abuse disorder. Get back your self-worth. Get back your power. Get back your joy. Get back your purpose. Get back your life. Contact Epiphany Resources at 561-762-0272 or at www.etcfl.com and say goodbye to substance abuse disorder and hello to life. Epiphany Resources, a place to begin.
The after-school hours between 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. are when millions of children go home alone or are without adult supervision. Statistics have shown that during this time, gang involvement, teenage pregnancy, and drug use begins. For the past 15 years, For the Children, Inc., a place where children come first, has been a pioneer in providing quality after-school programming for underprivileged youth aged 5 to 18 in Palm Beach County. Our children are our future. To ensure their success, they must have equal access to quality educational, personal growth, and leadership tools. For the Children, Inc. provides them all. Donate now to For the Children, Inc. at www.forthechildrenfirst.org.
This public service announcement for the Children, Inc. was brought to you by the law offices of Manjula Caladini, Esquire, concentrating in immigration law. www.immigrationassociates.net. You have been listening to Rabbi Jenny, who asks, are you ready to bring more light and love and joy into your life? A spiritually uplifting show that will change your world. Call in at 888-565-1470 or email at rabbijenny.com and share your thoughts with Rabbi Jenny. Now, back to our show.
Hey, it's Rabbi Jenny. Happy Wednesday. I'm telling you, we're talking about the wisdom of delegation. We're talking about letting go and letting yourself expand and support and build the people around you. It's very exciting. The energy is very, very strong. I want to read a couple of quotes about delegation. And if you're listening, I want to suggest that it's time to let go a little. Let somebody else pick up some of the work around you. It's going to free up some creative energy and give you the opportunity to open up to some idea, some door that is coming. So let go just a little bit. Oh my God, it's Rabbi Jenny. I'm crazy tonight. Okay, let me see. I got a quote by Peter Drucker, who says this: no executive has ever suffered because his subordinates were strong and effective. It's so true. Like, it's so weird the way the human mind is. Like, I'm going to fall because my foundation is too strong. Like, what is that about? It's just ego. It's ego. It's you're scared that someone else will shine brighter than you, which is so weird. Andrew Carnegie, we all know who he is. He said, no person will make a great business who wants to do it all himself or get all the credit. Ha! So important. These are some of the greatest businessmen of all time. And it's time now to discuss our topic, the Tom, Dick, or Harry.
You're telling me Rabbi Jenny will talk to any Tom or Dick or Harry? Any Tom, any Dick, any Harry,
We are here with one of my brothers, one of my closest friends, one of the people that the universe brought me professionally. Actually, Pastor Jonathan Benz. I have to call you Pastor. I'm sorry.
You're the only one who calls me Pastor anymore.
Pastor Jonathan Benz. Say hi, Jonathan.
Hi, Jonathan.
Oh, very funny.
Hi, Pastor. Jonathan.
Hey, Pastor.
Hi, Rabbi Jenny.
Hey.
Hey.
This is such a good topic for us.
It is.
Yeah. So Jonathan and I actually worked together on a spiritual care team in substance abuse treatment. Became very, very dear friends. Have been working in leadership and interfaith bridging events since, and friends. And he's currently the author of a very exciting new book. He's written one book, Living a Legacy, which I adore. And then the second book is brilliant. It's called The Recovery-Minded Church. And it's actually a book written for those of the Christian faith to open up their church to recovery from substance abuse and from other addictive disorders, which in any kind of 12-step minded thought patterns, and just opening up and becoming more open to bringing that into their ministry. And they're both brilliant books. Read them both. What's your website before we get into our huge discussion here?
Just go to jonathanbenz.com.
jonathanbenz.com. I wish I could talk like that too. just go there. And
Just go there.
look like a Kennedy, like me. Anyways, clearly the Washburn Jew on the radio right now. It's okay. It's like Marion. Okay, whatever. We'll go there later. All right,
we're
delegation.
Going to go there today. I think
we are going to go
today
there.
We
I
are
think we're
going
going
there.
in. So
Yeah.
talk about delegation. What is this bringing up for you as I start talking about this idea, and where have you struggled honestly with delegation in your own professional life?
Well, I love what you brought out about entrusting another to do it, because you got to trust people.
Yeah.
And for me, sometimes I would rather do it myself because I know I'll do it the way I want it to get it done.
Yeah.
And as you were talking, the last program I developed for 2 years, I ended up developing a great team. There were 10 of us. But the last few months, it got to where I would sometimes sit around. I didn't have a lot to do.
I know.
And I would go, so what do I do? Like, I'm not frantic. I'm not frenetic. I'm not hurried and harried and everything else. And what's interesting today, people on my team have now developed programs. So out of that program are 2 other programs.
Right.
Because they've gone on and moved on, which I think is the highest compliment.
Oh, totally.
Especially when they call and say, hey, can you, what do you think about this? Can you help me with that? That's exciting because it's sort of your spiritual DNA replicating in other places.
I find it rewarding, and I find it interesting as you're talking to look at the areas of my life where I'm less willing to do that. And I don't know if that's for the listeners, for me, for you, that there are certain areas of my life and certain things I do where I'm more willing to share the originality or the work, but there's certain things I still want to, hold on to all by myself. And
Well, that thing you said about the things that bring you joy, letting somebody else do that to increase joy.
yeah.
Yeah, because I want all that joy for me.
I want all the joy. I want
to
to
have a
hoard
good
the
time.
joy.
A joy hoarder.
Well, that's what one of the
it's true.
the articles I read was called it hoarding. Like people who don't
Really?
delegate are hoarders. And it's very similar to it's very similar to the phenomenon
Yeah.
of I want to hold on to all my stuff.
Right.
And you get stuck.
It's like psycho-emotional, spiritual hoarding.
Yes. It's ego is what it is. It's crazy,
Yeah,
crazy, crazy.
yeah.
Do you have a situation in your life where you maybe didn't delegate and you can recall it, that you tried to do too much?
Well, yeah,
Could be
and it
tricky.
ended up in burnout, I think. I think in my 20s when I was starting out, I had to do it myself.
Right.
And also because I wanted to achieve and perform and all of that. I think a lot of that comes out of perfectionism too.
That's what the article said.
Yeah. Well,
The articles are right.
Got some
It's Harvard
experience in that
Business
area?
Review. It's Harvard Business Review.
Right.
Amy Gallo. Thank you so much.
and if we want to get really real, perfectionism really comes out of shame.
Yes.
I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I'm not lovable. All that kind of crap that we, these internal messages, which I think every human being has on some level.
Absolutely.
Are we in touch with it? And I think as we grow and spiritually evolve, we become more aware and then we move out of it.
Yes.
But I definitely said my 20s, late 20s, early 30s. I'm giving my age away now.
Yeah.
I was involved in a lot of projects, a lot of like interfaith work back then, working in different countries, traveling, and I had a real tight hold on my team.
Yes.
And I wanted to make sure that they did it in the right way. And sometimes it was hard to let go and just trust that, what's the worst that can happen? They make a mistake, you clean it up. But I think if you have a sort of a longitudinal view of life and you're looking at life as a process and as a becoming and not as a means to an end,
Right.
it's easier to let go.
And there's something to kind of sitting back and allowing, because I think people see and observe a lot more than we give them credit for seeing and observing. And that's in an organizational setting, it's in our families, it's in our relationships, that you don't need to scream and shout from the rooftops when you're getting it done. You really don't. And, I think that just having that kind of faith, like what keeps coming up is that trust and that faith that things are okay.
And the thing you said in the first segment about when we allow someone to do it, we are building up their self-esteem. We're saying, I trust you and I believe in you. And you're right. Most people they'll rise to the occasion.
Totally.
They're waiting for somebody to say, let me do it. Give me a chance. Believe in me.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the biggest, problems or challenges in our society is that so many people come from families of origin where nobody believed in them.
Right.
they were told, you can't do this, you can't do that. And no one ever stepped in and said, you know what, you can do it. Let's figure out how you can do it. Let's make it happen. And I'll be there with you to back you up if you do fall.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was lucky, and you know my dad. You know, I have a dad who did that for me and for many people. And some of us were blessed, like with fathers or mothers or mentors who would push us out there and say, do it. Well, I'm afraid. Well, yeah, you're going to be afraid.
Yeah.
But that's what makes you courageous.
And it is my favorite thing to do. Like, it's like, and you don't know, it's like you can do a lot of things, but one of my favorite things to do as a rabbi, as a person, is to do that for someone else. Like it is its own reward, because you watch them expand right before your eyes. And you in eliminating their boundaries and eliminating their limited perspective, you eliminate your own. Because if you push people past their limit, that means your limits have to get wider too. Everybody has to expand.
Right.
Everybody. It's like, I think that it's a normal fear. Like, oh, if you shine too bright, then you're going to cast a shadow on me. What is that nonsense?
Right.
Well, it's not even physics. Yeah. It just gets brighter and brighter and brighter.
And I think walking on a journey with somebody through the ups and downs of that, it takes some commitment. I just had this similar conversation with a very good friend of mine for like 13, 14 years. And 13 years ago, she sat in my office across from me. And we were talking about, before we went on the air, about, friends in theater. And she was in New York, and she was making a change within, she was an actor, but she was making a change to go into more development work in theater. And now she's in D.C., and she's one of the leading managing directors, female theater managing directors in the country.
Wow.
And I saw her last month or a few weeks ago, and we were talking and we were reminiscing, like walking on the journey with her, saying, well, you can do it. You can reinvent yourself. Go do it.
Right.
Don't let where you are now hold you back. And that uncomfortability, is that a word that you're feeling? Or like I was saying before, like that restlessness we were talking before we went on the air. That's what God is using to catapult us into the next thing.
Yeah, and I think that we limit, we have gifts that we become comfortable with. Yeah. It's the same. There's a positive and a negative version of this. Well, this is just me. I mean, how many times have you said that when somebody's like, well, that's just me. I'm never going to change if that's just me. I think we do that with our good stuff, too. Well, that's just mine. That's who I am. Right. But what if who you are is bigger?
Right.
What if that gift is great, but there's another one waiting to be found? It's like a little, this isn't very Jewish, but a little thing under the Christmas tree. I keep getting this image like, oh, there's one back there that you didn't find. You know, like there's a gift that can happen when you rise to it. Because I think my sister is also an actress and a singer, but she found so many of her gifts writing and directing.
And she's tremendously creative.
Yes, but it was, amazing. That's a whole different gift to be able to put people in roles.
Yeah.
And
seeing ourselves in a different role.
Right.
So for me to let go and delegate, I have to reframe how I see myself. So if I see myself in sort of a myopic, narrow way, I have to sort of break out of that. And what helps me is going to people like you or people I trust, going, well, how do you see? Well, what do you think? What if, because you might want to like check in with somebody and say, hey, should I? But only people who have some proven track record in this. But to say, what do you think I should let go and delegate here? Sometimes I need somebody to confirm the direction, or to say, you know what, yes, but not now. Maybe in 3 months, it's too early. Because there's a timing issue here as well, I think.
Absolutely.
Right?
I think you have to listen. And this is that trust and that faith. Yeah. And you have to slow down a little bit. And this is actually a song Jonathan and I sang every Sunday at an amazing service. There's going to be 2 of them on the show.
Yeah.
So you'll be right back with Pastor Jonathan, Rabbi Jenny, in a few minutes. We'll talk to you more about the wisdom of delegation.
Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow.
Substance abuse disorder is a thief. Substance abuse disorder steals your self-esteem. Substance abuse disorder steals your power. Substance abuse disorder steals your joy. Substance abuse disorder steals your purpose. Substance abuse disorder steals your life. If you or someone you love is suffering from the effects of substance abuse disorder, Epiphany Resources has your solution. At Epiphany Resources, Rabbi Jenny and her acclaimed clinical team offer a unique and effective combination of creativity, spirituality, and cognitive therapy to treat and empower those suffering from substance abuse disorder. Get back your self-worth. Get back your power. Get back your joy. Get back your purpose. Get back your life. Contact Epiphany Resources at 561-762-0272 or at www.etcfl.com and say goodbye to substance abuse disorder and hello to life. Epiphany Resources, a place to begin.
The after-school hours between 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. are when millions of children go home alone or are without adult supervision. Statistics have shown that during this time, gang involvement, teenage pregnancy, and drug use begins. For the past 15 years, For the Children, Inc., a place where children come first, has been a pioneer in providing quality after-school programming for underprivileged youth aged 5 to 18 in Palm Beach County. Our children are our future. To ensure their success, they must have equal access to quality educational, personal growth, and leadership tools. For the Children, Inc. provides them all. Donate now to For the Children, Inc. at www.forthechildrenfirst.org.
This public service announcement for the Children, Inc. was brought to you by the law offices of Manjula Caladini, Esquire, concentrating in immigration law. www.immigrationassociates.net.
Hi, it's Rabbi Jenny from The Rabbi Jenny Show. Are you planning a wedding, baby naming, or bar bat mitzvah? Have you recently adopted a pet, bought a new home, or opened a new business? Do you have an important anniversary coming up and would like to renew your vows? Have you recently lost a loved one and need some compassion and care through this process? These are some of the many life events that touch our lives. It is at these moments that we need a special person for guidance and compassion and care to officiate and guide us through those moments. Call me, Rabbi Jenny, at 561-346-8207 to guide you and officiate these life events. 561-346-8207. Rabbi Jenny, for personal compassion and care and loving guidance for the important events of your life.
You have been listening to Rabbi Jenny, who asks, are you ready to bring more light and love and joy into your life? A spiritually uplifting show that will change your world. Call in at 888-565-1470 or email at rabbijenny.com and share your thoughts with Rabbi Jenny. Now, back to our show.
Hey, welcome back. It's Rabbi Jenny. I'm here with Pastor Jonathan Benz, and we're talking about delegation. And you can I want to remind you to go to his site, jonathanbenz.com, to get both of his books. His first book, Live a Legacy, which is a great, I hate to say it, toilet book. I always say that about this book because it's just these little stories, kind of like Chicken Soup for the Soul. They just kind of light you up. You can open it at any page. And then the second book is The Recovery Minded Church. And it's actually a book for Christian churches, and I believe synagogues could actually use it too, because it opens the faith-based community up to 12 steps to being more mindful of the recovery from substance abuse, and which is an epidemic, which we were talking about, which maybe we'll talk about on the next show. But I want to get back to this idea. I have this article again, like I said, by Amy Gallo. It's from the Harvard Business Review, and she talks about some hints about delegation and to actually become easier at delegation. And one of the reasons why we don't delegate is because we don't have confidence in the people we surround ourselves. So if you are in charge of who you surround yourselves, one of the suggestion is hiring people you can delegate to.
Right.
Interview people and pick the people you really want.
Right.
You know, and why wouldn't we? I mean, there's usually financial considerations and things like that, and we don't want to wait or there's a rush. So what can you share about that?
So what I found in the last team that I developed was I hired people who had a gift that I didn't possess. Or they had like a strength, like they're sort of their gift mix. They had something or an ability that they were better at than I was. And then I put them into that little groove, and that was their niche, and then I just released them to do it. And I would say, hey, would you do something on that? I still need you to do this over here, but I need you to be really strong there.
Yeah.
So then my overall team, it looked like I was good at all this stuff. Well, you know, I'm good at like sort of connecting people to their gifts and their like what their task.
Yeah.
But I would hire different people, and I would sort of you have to be
I
able.
love that though. I love
Yeah.
it's like painting a picture.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I keep seeing this image of
Yeah.
like color by numbers. Like put you
Right.
don't, and that way there is no ego, there is no competition,
Right.
Because you understand right from the get go why they're there. I mean, maybe you hire somebody because you like them. That's not necessarily the way to go. Or
Right.
you're friends with someone because you have that initial click. Sometimes you got to get to know somebody for a little while and decide if they're the type of person you do trust that you do want to bring into your world. So.
And saying to them, I need you to do this, and then saying to other people, I need you to not do that because that's what they're going to do.
Yes.
So staying in your lane is what I call it. You got to stay in your lane, and you got to do what your part is and what I worked with this woman back in the 90s who was a bit of a spiritual mentor, and she was from Miami. And she would always say, you got to know what your portion is, and you got to do it.
Yes.
So your portion from the Lord is how she would say it. Do your and she would say that's not. And there were things where we did not agree on certain things at all. But when we would come together, I would do my portion, she would do hers, and it was like,
It's
incredible.
so important. And
'Cause
it's
I honored
important
her
to
portion.
and communication is a huge part of that. Because sometimes people think they're being assigned one thing.
Right.
And you meant something completely different.
Right.
And so you have to communicate, you have to create an atmosphere of open-mindedness and comfort and ease. You can talk to me, ask me any questions to be able to talk about things. And sometimes I've noticed there are people who delegate too much. I don't know if you've noticed these people.
I don't like to work for those people.
Yeah, I don't like to work. Or they just, it's like the warped view of this. Like, oh, I just want them to do this and them to do that and them to do that. And there's no real, well, what are you doing? And that's an interesting state of mind. And how does this apply, Jonathan, for you in your personal life? Because I think that this is where I'm feeling it. I mean, we are at work, but we are at home. And where could we delegate more in our own personal life? I mean, I think getting a massage is some sort of delegation, You can look at it that way. Like, don't cut your own hair, get your hair cut. That kind of thing.
Because I can cut my own hair, but
I mean,
Well,
seriously.
I think you're right. I think self-care and obviously staying within your means and what you can do,
Right.
So doing things for yourself and calling on other people's talents to help you with that, I think there's nothing wrong with that,
and allowing other people and trusting, having
Right.
faith and letting other people in.
Right.
I mean, your heart grows when you let people into it,
But
and
they might hurt me.
yes, they might take away my control of my, it's the same, it's the same thing. I think we're busy with work, and so we don't want to look in that personal place, but that's the most sacred place of all. Make it a win-win situation. That's the other suggestion from Amy Gallo. So it kind of goes to what you were saying before. Like, if you're having difficulty and you're listening to the show, listeners, about, well, I want to give it to them, but I don't know. Find something in it that you're going to get out of it.
Right.
Are you going to get more time? Are you going to get more freedom? I mean, what's going to happen? Are you going to get more profit? How? Figure it out.
And that requires some negotiation.
Yeah.
And some, as you were saying, communication, but clear communication of expectations.
Yes.
So if I'm going to negotiate this, we've got to know what you expect, what I expect, and what's the takeaway here on each, where we both win, where we both come out winners.
Yes. Okay. So tell us more about your book, the new one. We're going to switch topics here because Jonathan will be here.
Sure.
The Recovery Minded Church. What was your inspiration for this, and how did it happen? Tell us about it.
The last program that I developed was actually faith-based. And to be honest, I wasn't looking to do that, which is the way life usually happens. We end up doing
Right.
things that we weren't looking to do.
Right.
And then we find ourselves in the middle of it because I had wanted a break, to be quite honest, from the religious world. And here I am right back in the middle of it, which has been great. But creating, so this is specifically, how do we create an atmosphere within Christian congregations, whether Catholic or Protestant, where we remove the shame and stigma around addiction, and not just addiction to drugs and alcohol, but what we call process addictions like sex, shopping, gambling, stuff like that. How do we create an atmosphere that's very open, inclusive, welcoming, warm, where people can heal? Because oftentimes our religious settings, and I think in some ways there are sects of Judaism that are the same way, just like
Absolutely.
Christianity,
Absolutely.
that are quite judgmental, that have a lot of external, outward, I sort of say crap, can I say that? Like
You can. It's
rules
not one
that
of
you
the
have
forbidden
to,
words.
the rules that you have to abide by to be a
Yes.
good Christian or to be a good Jew or to be a good spiritual person, whatever it is. And so, learning how to create atmospheres within our congregations and spiritual community where it's safe to tell your story
Yes.
and knowing who to tell that story with.
Well, I think that that's so important because this is affecting everyone now. It used to be, Jews don't drink.
Right.
That's my favorite thing. We don't have those problems.
Right.
Well, yeah, you do.
And what I found, the more, and I'll use this word, and I'm going to use it clear, but the more fundamentalist the doctrine and the theology, the more ultra conservative, the harder it is to break through oftentimes. Because it's very rigid. The rules are rigid, so therefore the shame around it can stay hidden more so.
And it's very kind of similar to our topic because it requires going outside for help. I don't want to go there, but it requires going outside. Like, my son is a drug addict. Keep it in the family, keep it in the family, keep it in the family. But you have to open up, Moshe. You have to open up and delegate. Right. It might be the nice Quaysha boy who's a pastor who's going to help your son. You know, it might be those people. You have to let them in. You have to trust and have faith.
Right. I was just interviewed yesterday, in fact, by this really wonderful woman, Sharon Kay is her name, in Nashville, Tennessee. She's connected to Fisk University, and we were talking about within the African American community, just the rigid religious roles that keep people from breaking free. And when you think that your family or your doctrine or your theology or your religious group, that I can only get help within there, or I can only find what I need from God within there. Well, I hope that your view of God's bigger than just your little group.
Yeah.
Better be, or we're in trouble.
Well, and it's time to open. It's time to open the mind. Yeah. It's just the world's gotten smaller, and I think that has been a wonderful thing, but I think it's increased this level of anxiety and fear because the boundaries are smaller. Right. Like, we're closer together because of the computer and because of
Facebook.
For goodness sake. Yeah. Half my friends are on the other side of the world. And so it's just an interesting thing to address that fear in this book and make people more comfortable.
Right.
That it doesn't mean you're going to lose your faith. It doesn't mean you're going to lose control. And there is a way to fit it into your paradigm. People think that your paradigm isn't flexible. Like you can still believe in the same God and the same faith. I think it's about finding what you need in that faith, not the other way around.
And recognizing that because I'm having this problem or this issue, it doesn't make me a bad person.
Yes.
I'm not, it just makes me human.
Yeah.
Welcome to humanity. Welcome to the planet, baby. Is how I say it. Like, you're struggling with this, or your loved one, or just because your spouse or your child or your parent is struggling, it doesn't mean that you failed in that role. It doesn't mean you're a bad mother or a bad father, or, it just means that, stuff happens.
Yes.
And sometimes we're so worried about, well, why did it happen? And we want to, we focus on the etiology of it or the origin of it instead of saying, what, it happened. Let's just deal with it now.
Well, and I think that this, when you deal with, some of the shame and fear of the, a lot of it from a core way, I don't understand, and we've talked about this being Christian versus being Jewish. I don't have that. I didn't grow up with that, the fiery brimstone thing. Right. So it wasn't like if I did something wrong, I was going to burn in eternal damnation. I didn't have that fear, but I think that what Jonathan does, and I've watched him in services, I've watched him with fellow, we've shared patients where he just said, that's not what the scripture means.
Right.
That's not what it means. That's not what it's saying, It's not. Is another one of our songs, Jonathan.
It is.
Little lean on me.
You're surprising me today.
I am just hot to trot. All right.
Throwbacks.
This is Rabbi Jenny. Thank you, Rabbi Jonathan. Rabbi Jonathan. Ooh, Pastor Jonathan.
Who knows?
Someday we'll switch roles. Okay, but you'll stick around for the last little piece and sing with me. This is Rabbi Jenny. We'll be back. The After After-school hours between 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. are when millions of children go home alone or are without adult supervision. Statistics have shown that during this time, gang involvement, teenage pregnancy, and drug use begins. For the past 15 years, For the Children, Inc., a place where children come first, has been a pioneer in providing quality after-school programming for underprivileged youth aged 5 to 18 in Palm Beach County. Our children are our future. To ensure their success, they must have equal access to quality educational, personal growth, and leadership tools. For the Children, Inc. provides them all. Donate now to For the Children, Inc. at www.forthechildrenfirst.org.
This public service announcement for the Children, Inc. was brought to you by the law offices of Manjula Caladini, Esquire, concentrating in immigration law. www.immigrationassociates.net.
Hi, it's Rabbi Jenny from The Rabbi Jenny Show. Are you planning a wedding, baby naming, or bar bat mitzvah? Have you recently adopted a pet, bought a new home, or opened a new business? Do you have an important anniversary coming up and would like to renew your vows? Have you recently lost a loved one and need some compassion and care through this process? These are some of the many life events that touch our lives. It is at these moments that we need a special person for guidance and compassion and care to officiate and guide us through those moments. Call me, Rabbi Jenny, at 561-346-8207 to guide you and officiate these life events. 561-346-8207. Rabbi Jenny, for personal compassion and care and loving guidance for the important events of your life.
Substance abuse disorder is a thief. Substance abuse disorder steals your self-esteem. Substance abuse disorder steals your power. Substance abuse disorder steals your joy. Substance abuse disorder steals your purpose. Substance abuse disorder steals your life. If you or someone you love is suffering from the effects of substance abuse disorder, Epiphany Resources has your solution. At Epiphany Resources, Rabbi Jenny and her acclaimed clinical team offer a unique and effective combination of creativity, spirituality, and cognitive therapy to treat and empower those suffering from substance abuse disorder. Get back your self-worth. Get back your power. Get back your joy. Get back your purpose. Get back your life. Contact Epiphany Resources at 561-762-0272 or at www.etcfl.com and say goodbye to substance abuse disorder and hello to life. Epiphany Resources, a place to begin. You have been listening to Rabbi Jenny, who asks, are you ready to bring more light and love and joy into your life? A spiritually uplifting show that will change your world. Call in at 888-565-1470 or email at rabbijenny.com and share your thoughts with Rabbi Jenny. Now, back to our show.
Hey, it's Rabbi Jenny. Welcome back. Happy Wednesday, listeners. Before we do our ridiculous Joy Jar Challenge, I want to give you this fabulous quote by Anthea, or I think it's Anthea Turner. Don't try to do everything yourself because you can't. That's just so simple. Right. I got a couple more after we do a couple things, but we're going to get to the ridiculous Joy Jar Challenge because we have a caller.
Joy, 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 joy. It's Adeline Gobergstein, and it's time for the Rabbi Jenny Ridiculous Joy Jar Challenge.
Hi, who's on the phone today?
Hi, my name is Alexandra Bello. How are you?
Say that again, a little slower.
I am Alexandra Bello. How are
Alexandra, right?
Yes.
Hi, it's Rabbi Jenny. Welcome to the show. Do you know about the ridiculous Joy
Thank
Jar
you.
Challenge?
Yes.
Okay, you have 10 things you're ridiculously joyful about?
Yes, I do. I am very joyful for my friends. Each one of them have been helping me with my latest event that I have going on. I am very happy for my skin. You know, I was sick for a little bit, but my skin has recovered, and I'm grateful to God for that. And I am very grateful for living in South Florida. Although it's raining, the weather is always great. I am happy for my hair. I am happy because I have a vehicle and I can drive everywhere. I am happy because I actually opened a new studio and I, work out of there every single day. I am happy for every person that I meet every single day that helps me collaborate. I am happy for my husband. I am happy for my mom, who works with me restlessly all the time. And I am happy I have a phone to text everyone, to be on Facebook all the time.
Oh, I love
I am happy for Facebook.
Yes, Facebook and a phone. Okay, now add Starbucks to that, and we're friends. We're totally friends, Lady Jane. Okay, Alexandra, what would you like to promote today on the Rabbi Jenny Show?
Well, today I want to invite everyone to go to Cinema Paradiso in Fort Lauderdale. We are going to have tomorrow evening an interesting night. It's a private screening with red carpet. We have one contestant from The Voice from 2012 coming. We have a Grammy Award winner. We have a Grammy Award official artist from last year coming. We have a lot of filmmakers. We are screening 11 short films out of the box that nobody has watched.
Wow.
That were made in 12 days. Yes.
Wow.
We are screening other trailers by local filmmakers and 2 more short films by local filmmakers. We have.
And what time does it start? What time does it, Alexandra? What time does it start?
It starts at 6:45 p.m. The red carpet, and we go into the theater at 7:30.
Okay.
And we start watching all these wonderful films at Cinema Paradiso.
Wow. And which theater is it at?
It's going to be in Fort Lauderdale at the Cinema Paradiso Art House Theater.
Absolutely. Is there a website that people can go to learn about it and get directions?
Yes. Go to Alexandra Bello with 2 L's, AlexandraBello.com, and click on Film Carpet.
Wonderful.
Once you click there, you will see all the information.
Would you do me a favor, Alexandra? And I think we've spoken before. Can you friend me on Facebook and go to the Rabbi Jenny page and kind of maybe put your information on there so people can go there and find out about it, including me?
Yes, I'm doing it right now.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you for calling today, Alexandra, and have a ridiculously joyful evening with your phone and your mom and your car. I haven't heard that one yet. So
thank you.
That was awesome. Have a great night. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
Okay, it's Rabbi Jenny. I'm like, I'm done, but I'm not done. I'm still here. Okay, I think it is time for the Jenny Jam.
Yo, yo, yo. Jam.
Okay, remember the topic.
Jam. Jam.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to sing this to you tonight because I'm in a mood. Thank you, love, for taking us this far. I said thank you, love, for showing us the way. Hey, hey. I said thank you, love, for giving us your power. And thank you, love, for letting us have a say. I'll tell you, but it's time to let us help you now, so we can shine and grow. 'Cause together, we can build this now, becoming free and whole. Now I want you to sing with me. Ready? Here we go. I said burn the candle at both ends and burn out. You burn out. I said burn the candle at both ends and burn out. Burn out. You're holding on too tight, trying to do it all. You got to let another in or you're gonna take a fall. Ain't nobody want that credit and you won't lose control, but you need some help to get it, so let them in the fold. Isolation and domination lead to deprivation and suffocation. So open up to elevation and master love and delegation. Burn the candle at both ends and burn out. And burn out. Sing with me in the car. Ready? Burn the candle on both ends and burnout. All right, it's Rabbi Jenny. We're going to give you the last bit. I'm going to elevate you. I'm going to bring you real high with this topic. The topic is delegation. I want to read you a quote by Stephen Covey. Is it Covey? Covey, right? Okay. I don't know. He's written the 5 laws of success, the 10 laws of success. He's a fabulous writer. I love him. But he says the most important thing about delegation that I've read in a while. He says this: people and organizations don't grow much without delegation and completed staff work because they are confined to the capacities of the boss. And I want you to hear that. If you confine your organization, if you confine yourself to just you, then it's just you, my friend. And that is not the Rabbi Jenny Show. That is not expansion. That is not rising above and shining as bright as you can, because you're not allowing other people's strengths in. If you are confining yourselves to your own strengths, you are limiting yourself. And we are in an age of unlimited possibilities. Unlimited possibilities. It's time to let go. It's time to let go of fear and trust the people around you. Perhaps you are surrounded by people and you have this feeling they might be able to do something. Maybe you've seen it. Maybe you need to start paying attention to the people around you and start noticing. I noticed this with my son. He turned 12 and he went through, the changes with his voice and everything. And I noticed he got a little grumpy because I wouldn't let him do anything. And as soon as I gave him a key and let him walk home from school, he rose to the occasion. And it created a synergy in our relationship because he became empowered. His self-esteem built. I believed in him like I believe in you listeners. And it is time for you to believe in yourself. Believe in the people that the universe, that God, the divine has put around you. Our guest today, Pastor Jonathan Benz, when he came to work with me, I didn't know if he was going to be good or not. But let me just tell you, together we created a fire that was insane. All these years later, people are still talking about the combined energy. One person is 1, but 1 + 1 is 2, and 2 is more than 1, and 3 is more than 2. So do not fear greatness. Do not fear expansion. Do not fear delegation. It's time to let go because there's something else for you to do, something bigger. This is Rabbi Jenny. I adore you. This has been one of my favorite shows, my favorite guests, one of my favorite topics. I'm just going to delegate something just for fun. Hey, you out there, go do that because you can. It's Rabbi Jenny. I adore you. Keep shining. Bye-bye.
You have been listening and lighting up your life with Rabbi Jenny. Join us next week for another session of love, light, and joy as Rabbi Jenny takes life to the next level. Are you ready? Rabbi Jenny says the time is now.